Dato Seri Vice President of UMNO, Minister of Rural and Regional Development, Chairman of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Honorable Jose de Venecia, the founder member or the co-chairman of the Standing Committee of ICAPP. Right Honorable So-An, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister in charge of Office of the Council of Ministers of Cambodia. Honorable Chong Yu-Yong, Co-Chairman of Standing Committee of ICAPP. Honorable Hussein Muhammad Ershad, former President of Bangladesh and Chairman of Jatiya Party. Ministers, Excellencies, Honorable guests, observers, members of the media, the exhibitors from government agencies and NGOs, ladies and gentlemen. Kuala Lumpur Declaration on Natural Disaster and Environmental Protection. We need light. We, the leaders and representatives of the 40 governing and opposition political parties from 24 countries in Asia, together with observers representing political parties in Latin America and the Caribbean and international organizations, gathered here at the ICAPP International Conference of ASEAN Political Parties, Conference on Natural Disasters and Environmental Protection, held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, under the auspices of United Malays National Organization, UMNO, from May 6 to 7, 2011. Sharing the sorrows and suffering of the Japanese people in the aftermath of the earthquake and tsunami, ICAPP expresses its full support, solidarity, and empathy with the people, the political parties, and the government of Japan for the tragedy that caused a loss of nearly 28,000 lives. Ever since the launching of the ICAPP Medical Emergency Forum, IMEF, in June 2010 in Langkawi, Malaysia, the issue of climate change has assumed crisis proportion in Asia. The devastating flood in Pakistan, forest fire in Russia, flash flood in Korea, Bangladesh and China, typhoon in Philippines, earthquakes in India and landslide in Nepal, and the recent tsunami in Japan cumulatively cause a serious threat to the way of life of the people living not only in Asia but beyond. IMEF formation on humanitarian wing of the ICAPP is therefore timely, and since its formation a year ago, IMEF has been extremely active in providing support and generous assistance to several countries in the region, including Pakistan, Cambodia, Indonesia, Japan, and Myanmar. Decision to institutionalize IMF by establishing a permanent secretariat in Kuala Lumpur will provide for readily available rapid corps of professional and personnel to respond to tragedies whenever and wherever this may occur. Since humanity has no borders, IMF's role will not be confined to Asia alone, but it will be ready, willing and able to respond to natural disasters for the protection of the environment, ecology and eco-safety in other parts of the world as well. We also believe, and this has been demonstrated by recent events, the Asian spirit of resilience and resurgence resonates during calamity and crisis, when people turn their grief into strength and overcome difficulties to move on to build a better future. In order to preserve and protect the environment and to promote the cause of climate change, we also propose that the leaders and representatives of political parties gathered here together push for legislation that strengthen our common objectives. In this regard, the Climate Change Act, proposed jointly by ICAPP and UNESCO, can serve as a good basis or model law for optional passage by parliaments belonging to ICAPP member states provisions that are relevant to specific country. We therefore appeal to all political parties, governments, parliament, civil society organizations, and the international community to strengthen the disaster direction activities such as speedy and correct information exchange in a more concerted and coordinated manner by implementing relevant international commitments and frameworks, including the United Nations Millennium Declaration adopted in September 2000 and the resolution adopted by World Conference on Disaster Reduction held in January 2005. We also propose that this meeting of IMF become a regular feature of ICAPP General Assembly meeting on the sideline to ensure that this issue is discussed at regular intervals. And we also propose that IMF coordinate with other international organizations, including NGOs and humanitarian bodies, as well as UNESCO, as ICAPP affiliate, which has founded the SOS Emergency Aid Center of Asia Pacific, based in Hong Kong, as well as those functioning under the United Nations system. ICAPP acknowledges the importance and effectiveness of IT in combating natural and man-made disaster, both in prevention and management of emergency situations.